Plasticine clay is the wettest of the clays. It's also the easiest to incorporate. It just, I mean, it's miraculously simple to work in. It almost feels like slime on its own, except that it's just looser and doesn't hold shape. You can't do tricks with it or anything on its own, but it's so nice and easy, extremely soft. Sometimes you'll get weird ones that are dried out and those aren't good, but other than that, I mean, like, it's almost fully incorporated in already. That was definitely the fastest. Great in all kinds of clay and butter slimes. I love mixing it with Daiso. It's soft, it's easy, but it does have a wetter feeling. So if you do not like lotiony, wet feeling slimes, do not buy one that is primarily plasticine. Maybe plasticine plus Daiso would be good in that case, but I mean, really great, really easy. It's not, however, going to hold a swirl very long because it's so much softer. It's like the difference between like buttercream and fondant. Model Magic would be more akin to fondant, whereas this is more like buttercream. Those gonna melt right off you. I'm gonna show you the difference really quickly. So I did the swirl with the other one and it held its shape while I was showing it to you. This is already melting down my hand. It might be hard for you to see, but like let's see if I can get it to come down to my finger here. Yeah, see, it's taking no time. It's gonna reach my finger in just a second. 3, 2, 1, and it has touched my nail already. You know what I mean? But there's no way that one's gonna do that. You get great bubble pops out of this. You do great tricks with it. A+ slime overall, but you know, personal preference, right? And last but certainly not least, as I said, is Modelite. What do you need to know about Modelite before mixing it into your clay? It's gonna melt your slime. Mixing it into your clay, mixing it into your slime, it's going to melt the slime. Unless your slime is slightly overactivated, much like when you're making cloud slime, how the snow melts it, Modelite can melt your slime. So always have activator on hand. I've got a little thing of activator right here, so I'm okay. It doesn't bother me. But if that's something that bothers you, be aware of it. Again, because this clay is white, it's gonna be harder for you to see how it incorporates like the other one. But Modelite can sometimes come really dried out and sometimes it can come really sticky. If your Modelite comes to you very sticky, you can use activator to pop it right back. It works the same way as it does with slime. This mixes in a similar way to Daiso. It's not as fast as this one, not as slow as that one. And the reason I'm telling you is just because I know you can't see it. It does get a little rippy for a second when you're mixing it in, but really no problem. What kind of slime does Modelite make when you mix it in? To me, it's like if you could hold marshmallow cream. One of my favorite things in the whole wide world. If you have had my Mally Mallow slime, this is not the exact ratio that I use, but pretty close, right? Great for tricks, amazing slime. You can do so much with it. I flippin' love Modelite. I wish that they'd bring back the other colors. How does it hold its swirl? Probably medium. You know, it's not as loosey-goosey as this one, not as firm as this one. It's coming down my hand a little bit, but it's got some great bubbles, friends. It's got some great bubbles, right? So that is the sitch on these different slimes. Now we got to see the swirls, I guess. We'll go do the swirls and the spreads and we'll go from there so you can see. Does anyone have any questions? I didn't even pause to ask for questions through all of this. I'm sure you have questions. Ask away.
Which of the 4 butter slime spreads the best? Sorry for the delay, but this is the final video in the White Glue butter slime testing series. The first slime that you're seeing here is the Daiso butter that we made in the previous videos. It is 50% my butter base and 50% Daiso clay. And I wanted to show this in real time. Normally when I make videos showing slimes with a lot of stretching, I do speed it up a little just because it can get like, oh my gosh, what am I watching? But since this is an informational video, I wanted to show it in real time so everyone knows exactly what they're working with. And this is how this slime moves in real time. It's not too hard to stretch, but it's also not the fastest either. I think it makes an absolutely stunning swirl. Like, it looks like a rose to me, but let's test the spread on traditional Daiso butter slime. And as you know, it spreads beautifully. Or if you didn't know, that's part of the reason why it was named butter, because it spreads like butter. So it's really quite lovely. I wanted to go quiet there for a second because it also gives really nice pops. This one is the Model Magic. Again, this was made in a previous video, so you can click back if you want to see that. And this is quite a bit stiffer. It always is, unless you add lotion, which you can do, but we didn't. We can do that in another video if you would like to see what that looks like when lotion has been added. But this one is way harder to stretch. Like, there's ripping. Normally, you would be able to see it. There it is. You could see it there on the back side. It just snaps. And that is a thing that happens with Model Magic butters unless you lotion them up. If you lotion them up, that is less likely to happen. That all being said, this does, again, make an absolutely stunning swirl, and I think this one would hold its swirl for freaking ever. I could probably sit it on the desk and it would just dry out that way, I think. I don't know. I've never tried it, but let's test the spread on this one. and it is quite difficult to get your fingers in there, and it is really hard to pull for a spread. The other ones spread really easily, and this doesn't even get half the length with double the effort. So that's a no on the spread for me. You can let me know what you think. The bubble pops, they're fine. It's not perfection. This purple one is our plasticine clay. I had a lot of people ask in the comments of the last video, what is the brand? I get mine from Dope Slimes, but that's not a brand per se. I mean, Dope is a brand, but the clay is not branded. Anyway, any plasticine clay works the same, but that's where I get mine. And no, that's not sponsored. I purchased them from them. This is the softest of the slimes, and it is the easiest to pull, and it takes literally no effort to get those beautiful ice cream lines in there. There's no snapping or anything. However, when you swirl it, it doesn't hold those like gorgeous swirls the same way the other does. It looks great for a second, but it is a little bit stickier. Can you add activator and make it firmer? Of course you can, but we didn't do any of that because this was an experiment. And of course, this one spreads the furthest because it is the softest and smoothest. It could go forever. I had pulled it all the way off the table and had to keep going. So that is definitely the furthest spread. I don't know if it's my favorite spread. I might be partial to the Daiso on that front. It also might be fun for us to mix a little bit of each of these together and see, you know, what the best mixtures are too. I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comments if you're interested in that. And this one is our Modelite. Modelite is, I would say like an in-between to me. It feels like the halfway point between Daiso and plasticine clay. It's not a paper clay like Daiso, but it does have some of that drier element to it. It pulls almost as easy as plasticine. Again, it's just like the halfway point there. It's definitely not difficult at all. Sorry, I lost my footing or handing there for a second, but either way, it's a beautiful, beautiful slime. I love the swirls that it holds. They won't hold as long as Daiso and Model Magic, but just as gorgeous in my opinion. And let's see what the spread looks like here. And I think it gives us like a 3/4 spread. So not as short as Model Magic, not as long as plasticine, probably the same length as Daiso, but yeah, I think, I don't know, you guys can let me know in the comments what more you want to see of this, but also what you think of these. And are we doing the clear glue version today? Let me know.